Silence is revered by success. It is not about being secretive or mysterious. Rather, it is about the fact that it needs time and space in order to grow well. Much like a seed begins to grow silently beneath the soil. To the rest of the world, it does not pronounce itself. It is not anything that requires attention or validation. To put it simply, it operates in a steady and unobtrusive manner until one day it emerges. Powering and powerful, as everyone can see. In spite of this, a significant number of us have the need to share with the world what we are doing, and how we want to get at our destination. Is that the case? Perhaps it is a desire to be acknowledged or to receive approval. It's possible that the excitement of saying, "Look at me, I'm on my way," is what drives them, but here's the issue. Your ability to really carry out your plans will decrease in proportion to the amount of time you spend discussing them. There is a peculiar paradox here, isn't there? Excessive sharing can deplete the very momentum that you require in order to achieve success. Throughout the years that I've spent working in company and developing myself, I've witnessed this phenomenon on multiple occasions. Persons who have lofty goals and aspirations for the future. Ideas that have the potential to alter their lives. Instead of doing what they had planned to do, they talk themselves out of it. How is it? If you notify an excessive number of individuals too soon, they let the icy winds of doubt, criticism, and distraction blow over their ambitions, exposing them to the elements. As a result, the fire that they had been experiencing had dissipated before their very eyes. In light of this, I would want to discuss with you today the concept of keeping your plans on the inside of your chest. It is not out of a desire for secrecy, but rather out of wisdom. We are going to discuss the ways in which one might build a mindset that prioritizes action over words, concentration over hoopla, and results without praise. For the simple reason that when all is said and done, it is not what you say you will do that matters. In other words, it is what you actually achieve. Withholding your plans from others can be a very strong strategy. It is important to note the nuanced connection that exists between intention and action. Give it some thought. Every time you talk to other people about your plans, your hopes, your objectives, and your intents, you are releasing a little amount of that energy. As you do this, you are releasing a portion of the fire that drives your activities. There are numerous situations in which it is preferable to keep that fire contained, stoked within the confines of one's own head, instead of being exposed to the world at an unhealthy age. Simple is one of the reasons. When you tell others what you are going to accomplish, you give the impression that you are making further progress. It is said that you are going to drop 20 pounds or that you are going to start a new business. As you speak, the folks surrounding you give you a grin, nod their heads, and possibly even clap their hands in support. It has a pleasant sensation. Doesn't it not? The feeling of acceptance and affirmation that it provides. Nevertheless, here is the risk. It is possible for the mind to confuse such approval with accomplishment. Despite the fact that you have not yet completed any tasks, you have already experienced a little portion of the reward in what is going to occur in the future. As time passes, the sense of urgency to take action will lessen, the fire will die down, and the dream that was once so vivid and so full of possibilities will begin to feel like something you have already accomplished in your mind. As a result, you find yourself in a level of comfort and the activity which corresponds to the actual challenging effort that brings the dream into being. When dreams are cradled in the arms of good intentions, this is how they perish. Some people could ask, isn't it a good idea to explain your plans to others? Isn't it something that holds you accountable? There is a place for accountability, but it must be done with the appropriate individuals and at the appropriate time. One thing to keep in mind is that not everyone who hears your plans will comprehend them either. Your abilities and motivations will be called into question by some individuals. It's possible that they won't say it out loud, but their doubt will linger in the air like a cloud that hangs over your aspirations. In addition, if you're not careful, that shadow may eventually make its way into your own thoughts. Suddenly you find yourself questioning your own judgment. You are pondering whether or not they are correct, and whether or not perhaps your notion is not as good as you believed it to be. It is not that I am suggesting that you should never communicate your thoughts. It's not the point at all. The goal is to give the information in a selective manner with some thinking, and only when the timing is appropriate. While your vision is still in its formative stages, you need to safeguard it, much as a gardener would protect young plants from frozen temperatures. You should discuss your plans with others who will not only support them but also encourage them. You should look for mentors or close friends who are really interested in seeing you achieve success. Even so, you should limit the amount of information you provide. Before your ideas have had the opportunity to develop, you should not allow them to become a spectacle. As an additional point of consideration, let's talk about the element of surprise. Engaging in actions that are not expected and allowing your results to speak for themselves carries with it a certain amount of power. Imagine this: you have been working on a project in the background for a number of months or possibly even years. It is not anything that you have discussed with anyone who is not a member of your trusted circle. And after that, you decide to reveal it to the entire world. A finished product, an objective that has been accomplished, and a gleaming completion. If you had been talking about it the entire time, giving hints and previews along the way, the impact would have been far less than it would have been just now. In light of the fact that it came out of nowhere, people will be amazed by what you have accomplished. Action is usually more stunning than words. And this serves as a reminder of that fact. There was a young man I know who had the ambition to launch his own company many years ago. It was impossible for him to contain his ideas and his passion, and he couldn't wait to share them with everyone at every available chance. He would ramble on and on about his intentions, going into detail about what he intended to achieve, how successful he was going to be, and how his life was about to undergo a transformation. People listened with courtesy, but as time went on, they began to develop a sense of skepticism. How come? Owing to the fact that months passed with nothing occurring. The more he spoke, the more he was able to get. He finally stopped believing in himself, and the less people believed in him, the more he believed in himself. Compare that to the behavior of another man. A farmer from the Midwest was someone I knew. It was his dream to transform the modest farm that his family owned into a profitable business, but rather than wasting time talking about it, he went ahead and started working. He continued to educate himself by reading books, seeing prosperous farmers, and subtly implementing new methods. However, he did not make his plans public. He let his outcomes to speak for themselves. When it came time for him to sell his crops, he surprised everyone with his decision regarding the amount as well as the quality of his produce. People inquired, "How did you manage to accomplish that?" By merely smiling and saying, "By working when no one was watching," he was referring to it. That, as you can see, is a lesson to be learned. With less time spent talking, you will have more time and energy to put into action. The less you look for approval from other people, the more self-assurance you will develop within yourself. In addition, the less you divulge your goals in advance, the more control you have over the story that you are telling yourself. Secrets are not the issue here. It's about being aware that your dreams are valuable enough to be protected and that your actions will always speak louder than your words. How many times have you told someone about a plan or a goal, only to have the urge to follow through with it slip away after you've discussed it with them? How many times have you let the viewpoints of other people to affect the direction that you take? The answers to these questions are significant because they offer insight into the amount of power that we give away when we speak too soon. However, the good news is that you have the ability to regain that power. You are free to make the decision to concentrate on taking action, to protect your dreams, and to allow your achievements to be the thing that speaks for you. There is a lot of noise in the world. Distractions, and advice that is not asked. You can find them wherever. Additionally, when you begin to share your dreams with others in an excessive manner, you are attracting that cacophony into your life. You are putting yourself in a position to receive criticism and perhaps envy. There are factors that, if you are not careful, have the potential to disrupt even the most well-crafted plans. Give it some thought. What percentage of the time do you find that when you tell someone about your big idea, people reply with genuine enthusiasm and support? Occasionally they do so. However, the majority of the time, individuals react with caution, suspicion, or even a subtle sense of discouragement. It's possible that they will ask, "Are you sure that's a good idea?" or "That seems like a dangerous proposition." I also knew someone who attempted that and was unsuccessful. These remarks might not appear to be harmful, yet they have the potential to sow the seeds of uncertainty in your mind. And uncertainty is a perilous thing to have. It is capable of rapidly expanding and suffocating the roots of your goal. However, you should be on the lookout for more than just those who have doubts. One further category of people is the envious, which refers to those who feel resentment toward your ambition since it brings to mind the things that they have not yet achieved. In spite of the fact that they might not express it directly, the subtle negativity that they exhibit can nevertheless sap your energy. In addition, there are the advisors who have good intentions, those who sincerely want to be of assistance to you but who wind up confusing you with their contradictory viewpoints and proposals that you did not ask for. It is possible that all of this noise could cause you to get disoriented and uneasy, since it will pull you away from your initial vision. Because of this, caution is a very potent tool. Protecting your ability to concentrate is accomplished when you keep your plans to yourself. You are establishing a calm environment in which your thoughts can flourish without being disrupted by the presence of other people. The process is analogous to constructing a greenhouse for your dreams, a location where they can thrive under the appropriate conditions until they are robust enough to withstand the environmental elements. It is essential to get into the habit of developing momentum. Momentum is a key factor to consider. That is the forward motion that you bring about. Whenever you go about achieving your objectives in a methodical and consistent manner, the secret is that momentum thrives in silence, and here is the key. You will be able to establish a rhythm if you avoid talking about the work and instead concentrate on actually carrying out the activity. Every baby step you take helps you get closer to the next one. And before you realize it, you've already made a considerable amount of headway. When you begin discussing your intentions before they are ready, however, you throw off the rhythm of the situation. You move your attention from being an action to becoming an explanation, from doing to justifying behavior. At the same time, every second that you spend elaborating on who you are is a second that you are not making progress. Imagine attempting to drive a car while stopping frequently to show people where you are going. It would be a challenge. Not only do you lose speed, but perhaps more importantly, you lose the sense of purpose that comes with continuing to move forward. I have another story that I would want to tell you, and it is one that demonstrates the power of momentum and discretion. One of my close friends made the decision to try their hand at writing a book. The dream had been with him for his entire life, and he was determined to make it come true. However, rather than making his ideas public, he discreetly established a goal to write 500 words every day until the book was completed. He did this until the book was finished. Not even his closest pals were aware of what he was doing. He kept it a secret from everyone. The only thing he did was work in quiet day after day. Not until several months later did he eventually reveal it to a select group of people he could rely on. How did they respond? Genuine admiration for you. The things that he had accomplished left them in a state of awe, not only because the book was of high quality, but also because he took the initiative to write it without seeking approval or recognition. In addition, the book was a success when it was published, not because of any significant announcements, but rather because the work itself was able to speak for itself. Now, allow me to tell you about another one of my friends, someone who had the same enthusiasm for writing as I had, but instead of getting to work, he idled away months discussing his plans. During his calls, he would provide updates, discuss outlines, and inquire about comments regarding every single aspect. He wrote less and less as he talked more and more. In addition, the initiative was ultimately unsuccessful. How come? Mostly due to the fact that he spent all of his energy trying to gain approval rather than developing momentum. These two tales each contain a significant lesson to be learned. When there is an excessive amount of talking, it develops hesitation, while action breeds confidence. You demonstrate to yourself that you are capable of doing anything when you take regular action, even if it is only in little quantities. You develop a track record, which gives you a sense of achievement and drives you further in your progress. On the other hand, when you say too much, you find yourself trapped in the universe of available options. Without ever having to cross the bridge to reality, what might be, and what could be. The thing is as follows. Some people are concerned that keeping their plans a secret may give the impression that they are distant or secretive. However, here is the reality. It is not the purpose of discretion to exclude other people. The protection of personal privacy is the focus here. The important thing is to acknowledge that your dreams are priceless and that not everyone is deserving of a front row seat to your path. Take this into consideration. It is not appropriate to invite the entire community to wander through the dirt before the seeds have sprouted while you are planting a garden. First, you make sure the ground is protected, then you gently water it, and last, you wait for the first shoots to appear. After that, you'll be able to invite other people to admire the results of your hard work. By maintaining the confidentiality of your objectives, you are adhering to the same idea. You are not being evasive in any way. I admire your strategic thinking. In this way, you are allowing yourself the opportunity to develop, to learn, and to adapt without the pressure of expectations from the outside world. In addition, when the time comes to share your achievement, it will be even more powerful because it is supported by actual results. Now, I have a challenge for you to complete. If you want to achieve something in the future, you should fight the impulse to tell everyone about it. Rather than that, put that energy into action. Put it in writing, devise a strategy, and then take the first step in a calm, deliberate manner while maintaining your entire attention. Always keep in mind that the objective is not to impress other people with your intentions. The goal is to make a good impression on oneself with your achievements. There is a great sense of liberation that comes with moving around during stillness. You are liberated from the burden of external expectations, and you are given the opportunity to function according to your own terms. Give it some thought. Putting oneself in the spotlight is something you do when you make your goals public and proclaim them to the world. Instantaneously, individuals are observing, waiting, and possibly even passing judgment. Particularly in the beginning stages of a project, when things are still uncertain and fluid, this pressure can be suffocating and can even be detrimental. The path to success is rarely a straight line, as you can see. It is a path of trial and error, of taking 2 steps ahead and 1 step back. And when you are in the public glare, those setbacks might feel like they are exacerbated. Each and every blunder becomes a potential target for criticism, and each and every delay becomes a source of consideration. If, on the other hand, you choose to keep your plans a secret, you allow yourself the opportunity to fail in a quiet manner and to gain knowledge from your errors without the additional pressure of the opinions of others. Because of this, exercising prudence is not merely a tactic, rather, it is a present that you give to yourself. This is a method for establishing a secure environment in which you are able to experiment, develop, and perfect your ideas without being interrupted. This is the most lovely part of it all. You will have a stronger connection to your own instincts when you are not trying to gain approval or recognition from other people. When you begin to rely on your own judgment rather than the opinions of others, you begin to develop a deeper level of faith in yourself. I am aware of what you are considering. Isn't your feedback very important? When it comes to improving my ideas, don't I need the opinions of other people? What's more, the answer is yes. Responses are quite important. It is necessary that it be delivered at the appropriate moment and by the appropriate individuals. Constructive feedback is something that not everyone is qualified to provide. In addition, the time to look for it is not always appropriate at each step of your journey. In the beginning, when your vision is still in the process of being formed, it is preferable to concentrate on the task itself. It is time to solicit input from others whom you have faith in and respect once you have achieved some level of success and have constructed something that can be touched and felt. I had the pleasure of working with a man who possessed an extraordinary talent for recognizing opportunities. In situations where others saw difficulties, he was able to see possibilities in those situations. He did, however, have one deadly defect. He was unable to shut up about his thoughts and opinions. When he had a fresh idea, he would immediately share it with anyone who would listen to him. He would do this every time. Moreover, what took place? The vast majority of the time, the idea would be put into action by someone else before he did. He disclosed his plans, which resulted in the loss of his edge. Far too soon? Make a comparison to another businessman that I was familiar with. It is quiet. An unassuming individual who rarely discussed the projects he was working on is shown here. Although he was neither ostentatious or pompous, he possessed a great capacity to carry out his tasks. While others were engaged in conversation, he was engaged in construction. Moreover, whenever he presented his work to the public, it was always remarkable. To the point of being polished, well thought out, and ready for the world to see. There was no need for him to make an announcement about his intentions because the outcome spoke more clearly than any words could ever do. With this, we arrive to yet another important principal finding. Are your most effective form of advertising. When you do something major, people will take note without you having to say a word. Your accomplishment will automatically attract attention. And that attention will be significantly more meaningful than anything you could have generated by talking about your intentions as soon as they were conceived. Put it in the context of a ripple effect. Because of your acts, waves are created that go far and wide, reaching individuals in ways that words could never even begin to describe. However, there is yet another reason why you should keep your ideas a secret. A point that is frequently disregarded. What's at play here is the power of concentration. Sharing your plans with other people is not simply a waste of energy, it also helps you get things done. At the same time, you are inviting distractions. People will begin to ask questions, make suggestions, and share their own ideas, all of which have the potential to tug you in a dozen different directions. It won't be long until you realize that you've lost track of your initial objective and your vision, which was once crystal clear, has become blurred. Paying attention is one of the most valuable resources that you possess. It is what enables you to direct your focus toward a single target, which enables you to cut through the distracting noise and accomplish genuine progress. Moreover, the most effective method for safeguarding your concentration is to restrict the amount of others that are able to see your plans. When there are fewer voices in your ear, it is much simpler to maintain your focus and remain on track. If you were to apply this theory to your own life, what would the results be? Just for a moment, try to picture yourself beginning a new project, a business, a creative activity, or a personal goal without informing anyone about it. Consider the idea of working in a peaceful and steady manner without seeking recognition or acceptance. Where do you think you could make progress in that period of silence? How much further would you be able to go if you did not have to worry about the expectations of others? The essence of everything we are discussing today may be summed up in this sentence: the liberty to operate according to your own circumstances, as well as the authority to allow your deeds to speak more loudly than your words. In addition, the knowledge to guard your dreams until they are ready to be shared with others. Neither being secretive nor being distant is the point. Having a purposeful approach is essential. It is about acknowledging that your energy, your focus, and your momentum are far too valuable to be squandered on idle chatter. Furthermore, when the time comes to share what you have been working on, when the results are there for everyone to see, you will discover that your success carries a weight, a substance that you will find to be significant. Words alone would never be able to articulate that. That you didn't only talk about your dreams will provide you the satisfaction of knowing that you accomplished something. You brought them into appearance. Therefore, the concept of keeping your plans a secret does not involve concealing or withholding information. It is about having an awareness of the significance of your energy and your concentration. When it comes to protecting the tiny beginnings of your dreams, it is about nourishing them in silence until they are strong enough to stand on their own. Understanding that actions are more powerful than words is the key to success in this endeavor. Furthermore, the results speak more loudly than any proclamation could ever hope to do. You are making a statement regarding your intentions when you decide to keep your plans to yourself, not to the rest of the world, but on your own. You're stating that I have faith in my capacity to see this through to the end. To get started, I do not require praise, and I do not require permission to pursue the goals that I have set for myself. This level of self-assurance is quite unusual, and it carries a great deal of power. It grants you the liberty to act without fear of repercussions. Learning from your mistakes without being judged and growing at your own speed are both important goals. The most lovely portion is about to begin. When you achieve success, you will motivate other people not because of what you promised to do, but because of what you actually did. Your actions will become a beacon, a reminder to other people that true growth is achieved by concentration, self-control, and quiet resolve. You will demonstrate to them that the volume of your declarations of intent is not the most important factor. This is about how steadfastly you are. Consequently, as you move on from this point forward, I want to challenge you to conform to this mindset. If you want to achieve something in the future, you should fight the impulse to tell everyone about it. Instead, you should put it in writing, devise a strategy, and get to work. Allow your actions to speak for themselves and allow the results to serve as the evidence. Put your faith in the fact that the world will take notice when the moment is right. In addition, when they do, it will be because you have worked hard to earn it. Do not forget that achievement does not require shouting. Both the spotlight and the stage are not required for it. Slowly and methodically, it expands in the midst of the silence, when no one is looking over its shoulder. Therefore, make sure to protect your dreams, cultivate your focus, and let your actions to speak for themselves. In this way, one can achieve genuine success. This is a path that is well worth walking.